Going back to that first example I gave you of Robert Kennedy's speech, pathos is demonstrated in just that segment a lot based on his emotional presence that he brings to the speech, how he connects his personal loss with his brother to the death of Martin Luther King, and how the people in that community are affected by that as a whole, and he's kind of bringing a sense of nationalism together for everyone. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the effectiveness of syllogism within proofs. So syllogism refers to the set of propositions that are related to one another and draw conclusions from major and minor premises. So syllogisms typically contain two premises and a conclusion. It's a deductive argument, which is a group of statements that lead to another group of statements or conclusion. So an example of this that's really easy that the book gives you, which is on the PowerPoint, is that if A equals B and B equals C, then A therefore is going to equal C. So just like another example, helping you guys understand it more. So say you say all birds lay eggs, and you come to the conclusion that a swan is a bird, therefore swans must lay eggs. So syllogisms kind of just make it easier for speakers to establish justifications for conclusions for things that the audience may have trouble understanding, and make it more effective to the persuasion.
Going on, canons of rhetoric. So a canon, as Aristotle defines, is a guideline and principle for speakers to follow to better effectiveness of a speech. So what that means is they are recommendations for making speeches more compelling. There are 5 recommendations that Aristotle lists that he says will always make a speech better if they were included rather than they weren't included. And those 5 are invention, arrangement, style, delivery, and memory.
So I'll just give you a quick run through of the 5 canons before we go into depth of each one. Invention is the integration of reasoning and arguments in speech. Arrangements is the speaker's ability to organize a speech. The style is the use of language to express ideas in a speech. Memory is the speaker's effort in storing information for a speech. And delivery is the nonverbal presentation of the speaker's ideas.
So going on to invention, we're just going to get a little bit more in depth. Integration of reasoning and arguments in a speech. So there's two aids to invention, which is topics and civic spaces. Topics are aids to invention that refers to the argument a speaker uses to enhance a speaker's persuasiveness. So you keep bringing up new topics, you keep enhancing the speaker's persuasiveness. And civic spaces, which is metaphorical locations where rhetoric has the opportunity to affect change. So like if I list off, for example, I tell you the iPhone 7 is the best camera because it captures my family's vacation pictures. There are Apple statistics saying it's the best camera, and also I'm a nice guy, I'm reliable, I'm credible, and that's why iPhone 7 has the best camera. But that's using all 3 of the proofs. If I just said I'm a nice guy, you have to believe me. That's only using one of the proofs. So that has a lot less invention than the original example where it had all 3 proofs. So I would be more persuasive with the more proofs, like I said earlier, and less persuasive with the less proofs, which is pretty much what invention is. So now that I told you the 3 reasons that iPhone 7 has the best camera, I have your attention, and I will keep repeating it and persuade you guys to think about it and maybe pay attention and maybe that opinion conflicts with your opinion, or maybe my facts will make you change your opinion. Onto arrangement, it's a speaker's ability to organize a speech. So basically, it's just like a paper: introduction, body, conclusion. You always start with introduction, which gains the audience attention, connects with the audience, you get to relate with the audience. It basically summarizes the overall purpose of the speech. The body includes arguments, examples, and detail. So just supporting details that you're trying to prove, that you're trying to argue to your audience, just like a paper. And you should follow an organizational structure, so leading the audience from one point to another, not A, B, back to A, down to D to C. Just go nice in order, list your bullet points, A, B, C, D. And then finally, conclusion, which summarizes the speaker's main points. Basically, is the epilogue of a speech, and it attempts to reconnect with the listeners and kind of bring it back to the introduction. This is what I'm trying to persuade you to do. This is what I'm trying to tell you, and hopefully it works.
Okay, so next is style. Style is the use of language to express ideas in a speech. Language such as choice of words, word imagery, and word appropriateness are all different types of style that can be chosen to use in a speech. Language that should be avoided are outdated words in speeches such as glosses, which should be avoided, and is an example of that is saying, using like a derogatory term like colored people instead of African American. You should avoid from straying from that. And metaphors should be used to help the audience understand what they do not. So metaphors have the ability to change the perception and minds of the listeners, letting them connect one thing to something they didn't know before, and generalizing and understanding for it. Next is memory, and this is the speaker's effort in storing information for a speech. So the first three canons that I explained before this, invention, arrangement, and styles, are all in the speaker's mind before the speech is given. This is their memory. So a speaker must consider a number of issues prior to the speech, whether they want to utilize metaphors so the audience can better understand what they're trying to say, the type of style they're going to continue to use throughout the speech, and the arrangement of the speech. So this is all, they have this all in their head before they go out and give the speech. And then the delivery is the nonverbal presentation of the speaker's ideas. This includes behaviors such as eye contact, vocal cues, pronunciation, enunciation, body movement, dialect, and physical appearance. So this is also using the appropriate level of pitch, rhythm, volume, and emotion. And an example of this is, I know President Obama for me stuck out with this because I've noticed in a lot of his speeches, when he's about to say something important, President Obama will give a pause or hesitate so people know he's about to say something important, and he gives him time to prepare what he's going to say. So that's part of his delivery and cueing in vocal cues to get people's attention.
So there are three types of rhetoric: forensic rhetoric, epidictic rhetoric, and deliberative rhetoric. Forensic rhetoric relates to courtroom speaking, so like talking to a judge, talking to a jury, talking to an attorney. Speaking, it pertains to the feeling of guilt or innocence from the audience. So forensic oratory relies on past behaviors to establish argument. So basically, in the three types of rhetoric, forensic would be the past, epidictic would be the present, and deliberative would be the future. And to establish guilt, the forensic speaker needs to establish motivation for doing wrong. So I'm just going to play this short video.
I was
To
thinking
kind of define what that means.
last night about this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong. It occurred to me how they were going to come here and stand up here and tell you how O.J. Simpson was going to disguise himself. Was going to put on a knit cap and some dark clothes, and he was going to get in his white Bronco and this recognizable person and go over and kill his wife. That's what they want you to believe. That's how silly their argument is. And I said to myself, maybe I can demonstrate this graphically. I'm going to show you something. This is a knit cap. I'm going to put this knit cap on. And you've been seeing me for a year. If I put this knit cap on, who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran with a knit cap. And if you look at O.J. Simpson over there, and he has a rather large head, O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away is still O.J. Simpson. It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. It reminded me that there was testimony early on.
Johnny Cochran speaking in the courtroom. He's establishing facts, trying to persuade the jury the innocence of O.J. Simpson, utilizing motivations to help establish that what's being said about O.J. Simpson was wrong.
So basically, like he said, he's talking to the jury. This is the opposing defense. So he's performing this type of rhetoric, this forensic rhetoric, talking to the judge, the jury, and everyone else in the courtroom. The second rhetoric is the epidictic rhetoric. Like I said before, it's the present. It relates to the present. Pertains to praising or blaming, and the ceremonial speaking method relates heavily with those because of the relation to values and social issues. So speaker must relate virtues of a topic to the diverse audience. Speech pertains to present events, like I said. So just a real life example, it's like a eulogy. So you're at a funeral. Let's say my grandma has passed away. I'm gonna speak the eulogy for her values. My grandma was a beautiful and selfless woman. She wouldn't put anyone else's problems before her own. Just talking about her values and who she really was. That way my audience could get a grip of who she was and could compare, because I'm sure some of your grandparents are the same kind of sweet old lady, sweet old man kind of thing. And the last one is deliberative rhetoric. Deliberative rhetoric determines the audience's course of action. This rhetoric gives decisions if something should or should not be done. So, like in politics, basically this is talking about political speaking for the future. So, relates heavily associated with the future, like I said. So, Aristotle had 5 subjects in ancient Greek times in the BC area, which people deliberated. And that was revenue, war and peace, defense on the country, commerce, and legislation. But if Aristotle was here today, if we had a top 5 for today's standards, it would probably be closer to health insurance, taxes, relationships, education, civil rights. So what this pretty much means is our government gets together and makes decisions based off what could happen in the future. And